And health and a healthy body is not that important. It's not that valuable. Or you don't believe you can have it. Because you don't believe it, you don't make it important to take action towards having that. And obviously, you're not motivated. Mindfulness is literally ability to take a look inside of my mind, take a look at my thoughts, and be okay with them. Being okay with all kinds of nasty thoughts, all kinds of nasty things, negative self-talk, being okay with it, understanding that's not me, and be okay with I don't want those kind of thoughts. What do I do about it? Or it's the thing in our brain that literally decides what gets to our awareness and what doesn't. And it literally controls our consciousness. What are we aware of and what are we not aware of? And as you can see in this presentation slide, it controls our sleeping, it controls our waking attention. And imagine, when you go to sleep, you close your eyes. At some point, you literally lose any sense of a surrounding environment. It brings to our awareness things that are important to us and filters out things that are not important. And could be as simple as that. Do I notice the birds in the background or I don't? And consciously influence it so that things that are really important to us gets noticed. I want you to help yourself to get your goals faster. And so everyone's looking for the magic pill and the magic solution. I'm also looking for it, and I'm every single day working on taking a pill. And the pill is called Thoughts Become Things. So it's really hard for anyone to fall asleep. If you're continuously running around solving problems, your mind is active. Active mind produces adrenaline, cortisol, and activates the physical body, and active physical body is less likely to fall asleep. It's really hard for body to fall asleep if you're activating from the mind. Also really hard for your body to fall asleep if you're continuously generating any kind of intense emotions. Could be excitement, could be grief, could be fear, could be doubt, joy, any emotion, positive, negative, but intense emotion will generate all those hormones yet again and will make your body to really have a hard time falling asleep. So therefore, you need to be able to release physical energy through movement. You need to be able to relax, rest your heart rate, slow down your breathing, release your emotions, let them go, clear up your mind. Self-love is a choice not to suffer. Everyone has their own flavor, their own way of getting into that state, and that means clearing your mind. There's nothing there. And sometimes it means watching TV, Netflix. For some people, it means different things, going for a walk, hikes. There's many different ways how you can get that temporarily or more extended. And for some people, that literally means falling asleep. So, welcome. Sorry for the delay. I'm happy to be here to have this presentation. Spark up your life. Health, body, image presentation. And the motto of this presentation is ask and you shall receive. And I will go through these details soon enough. Why is it so? And I want to invite you to have this question in your mind. What are you asking for? And you will have this slight mismatch when I'm asking you a question, spark up. How do you spark up your life? And in presentation, you will see spark up my life. And it's intentional. Because when you read it, so you can ask yourself, how do I spark up my life? And when I directly talk to you, I ask you, how can you spark up your life? So that's intentional. So ask and you shall receive. So first of all, let's get to the basics. So there's this thing in our brain called reticular activating system, RAS in short. And what it means is, if you haven't heard about it before, it's the thing in our brain that literally decides what gets to our awareness and what doesn't. And it literally controls our consciousness. What are we aware of and what are we not aware of? And as you can see in this presentation slide, it controls our sleeping, it controls our waking attention. And imagine, when you go to sleep, you close your eyes. At some point, you literally lose any sense of a surrounding environment. You just suddenly fall away. And I just got a nap. Just before this presentation, I had a nap. And during this nap, in the beginning, I was aware of what's happening around. And then at some point, I fell asleep. I had literally no sense perception of what's happening around me. And RAS is the thing that does that. But it doesn't only control during the sleep. It also controls what's happening during the awakening state. So as you can see in this graph here, it controls what visual control gets to our awareness, what audio input, what sensory inputs gets to our awareness. And I had this really beautiful example as well last time. Like, normally, I'm not aware of the birds chirping here in my background. Until someone tells me, Thomas, I really love your background. There are birds chirping beautifully in your background. And until I put my attention consciously there, I have no idea. I have birds in the background. And that's exactly how RAS works. It brings to our awareness things that are important to us and filters out things that are not important. And could be as simple as that. Do I notice the birds in the background or I don't? Do I notice the people walking in the background? Do I notice the noises in the background? And we have conscious and subconscious choice. How do we decide what comes to our awareness and what doesn't? And we have actual saying how to program it. And there are a couple of ways how we can program this reticular activating system, because normally it works on a subconscious level, so we don't have conscious choice and awareness. What do we want to bring to our awareness, where we can consciously influence it, so the things that are really important to us gets noticed. And there are, I would say, three main things that influence it. So first of all, it's emotion. Highly charged emotional thoughts, impulses, will get through it, and it will say, this is important, pay attention to it. So emotion. Another way how you can program it is through asking questions. So one of the most fastest way is to say, I have this problem, pay attention to this problem, give me the solution. If you literally by asking questions, you tell it, pay attention to this problem, give me a solution. This is important. This is a problem, I want a solution. So by asking questions, you do that. And the third one is by repetition. By repeating something over and over and over again, you will have program, this is important, pay attention. So that's why it's really important. The content you consume, that's why positive self-talk is really important. That's why affirmations are so important, because they literally have a saying, what comes to my attention and what doesn't. That's why it's really important to focus on what we value. And that's why it's really important to program us to get to our goals, not our problems. And that's why it's really important to focus on what you want instead of what you don't want. Because this thing says, this is important, that is not, pay attention to that, and not to that. This, not that. So, and that's why we come to the second part of this process, which is, why are you here? What's your goal and what's your intention? Obviously, you want to be better health, you want a better body, and all these things, we all want them. But do we really pay attention and really program our minds consciously to have better health, to have better quality life, to have a body that's healthy? Do we really make it important to ourselves? Do we actually ask ourselves, how can I get healthier today? And now, that's why I'm asking you today this question. How does sparked up life look like to you? So, how does sparked up life look like to you? How do you define it? For me, personally, my spark of life looks like, and I have more energy, and I really feel that I have energy and capacity with the body to do the things I love. That means I can actually literally stand up from the seat and run across the room, run back, sit down, and continue conversation. What can actually really happen? Okay, I would have a bit elevated heart rate, fair enough, but I can do it. There's literally a possibility for me to stand up and maybe do a backflip. I'm a bit scared doing backflips here on a concrete tiled surface, fair enough, but if I was in front of the pool, I could do it. No fear, no nothing, I can do it. I have strength, stamina, and all these things, all the requirements for me to do it. And that's how I define it for myself. Or I am asking you, how are you defining your spark of life? Maybe it's clothes you wear. Maybe it's how people talk back to you. Maybe it's experiences you have. How do you define it? And once you know how do you define it, that's number one. Question is next. Where are you now? So where are you right now? You need the physical feedback. You need to be honest with yourself. Where are you right now? Because if I'm already not where I want to be, there's a reason why I'm not there. And it could be as simple, I never asked. Could be there's something, some obstacle. There's more challenge. There might be something protecting us from getting there. Something that keeps us going to the place we really want. Maybe some excuses, some valid reasons, some fear. And the next question is, what is stopping me from getting there? It could be there's nothing stopping me there. The question is, why am I not there yet? And if it's no one asked me before, fair enough. But can I be there tomorrow, in 5 minutes, in 10 minutes? Is there anything stopping me from getting there right now when I know what I want? And these are really important questions to occupy our minds of. And finish this slide with a quote, you'll miss 100% of the shots you don't take. So you don't take the action towards getting your goals. You missed the opportunity, so you need to take that action. So obviously, I'm here also for a valid reason, and I want you to help. I want you to help yourself to get your goals faster. And I offer you to join my 12-week coaching program in which we dive deeper into discovering what does self-love, self-respect mean to you, and how do you make it work for you in a simple program, which is 12 weeks. We're gonna have up to 1 hour, 1 hour 30 Zoom sessions, and weekly videos, check-in daily with each yourself, community support, email support, and we're gonna go through this journey together and make sure that you get closer to your dream and get there faster. So if that's something you want to explore, any questions, follow the link below, link here in this presentation, or message me and check in with me. Part 1. So everyone's looking for the magic pill and the magic solution. I'm also looking for it, and I'm every single day working on taking a pill. Because there is the pill, but it actually requires a bit of action, a bit of effort. Like, even if you have a magic pill, you still need to take it. And there's a certain duration of effect. How long is this pill working? And the pill is called thoughts become things. You probably have heard this time and time again, many books, many influencers, many people talking about manifestation, talk about this principle. The thoughts literally become things. I also like to have it practical. So let's go through it. What does it actually mean? Thoughts become things. So many people believe there's this thing called destiny. Whether you believe destiny or not, let's go through this process. What does mean that thoughts become things, and how does mindfulness play a key role to it? So let's say you have a destiny. Let's assume you have destiny, whether it's real or not. How does one define destiny? Well, your destiny, your outcome. Let's say your destiny is you in 20 years. So that's your destiny. You don't know what it's going to look like specifically. Maybe you do, maybe you don't. But let's say there's your image in 20 years' time. It's getting determined by the character you have. And your character is defined by the habits you have. Your habits get formed by action you take. Your actions get formed by words you say and the thoughts you have. So literally, the thoughts you have right now will determine the things you say to the people around you. While the things you say to the people around you will make you accountable, and people will accept you to take actions accordingly. And the actions you take will form habits. And these habits will build a character, and this character is very likely to set where you end up in 20 years, 10 years, in the future. And that's going to be your destiny. By the thing you asked yourself, but the thought you have today. So that's exactly what I mean by destiny. And that's why it's really important to keep awareness of your mind. Keep awareness of the thoughts you're having right now. And here's this very beautiful quote here. Whether you think you can or you think you can't, you're right. Because if you believe you can earn $1 million in 3 weeks, or you believe you can do it, your actions will be completely different. And because your actions can be different, your results will be completely different. And next one, once you have asked yourself, what does your success, your spark up life looks like? If you haven't asked, well, don't be disappointed if you never get there, because you never really asked, what does it look like for you? But once you actually know, what does it kind of look like for you? I want to get a bit deeper. And in terms of magic, in magic we have spells. So how do you spell? How do you spell your success? What's your magic spell look like? In real practical terms, spells are definitions. How do you define your success? So do you have definition? Like if I asked you, okay, you want, let's say, have a strong body. So what does strong body look like? How do you define? How do you mean? If you have strong body, what does it mean? Like, does it mean I can lift 10 kilos, 20 kilos? Does it mean I can do backflip? Does it mean I can walk on my hands? What does it actually mean? How do I measure that I have strong body? How do I measure that I'm successful? And on day-to-day basis, I really love Earl Nightingale's definition of success, which is success is progressive realization of a worthy ideal. By this definition, at the moment when I take a decision, I am a strong person. At that specific moment, I am a successful person because I have made a decision, I have determined myself to get there. It's done. I've already determined I'm going to make everything I can within my power to get where I want to, and I'm going to align myself towards being a strong person, and every day I successfully progress towards realizing me being a strong person, which is worthy ideal. I am a success. If I'm not realizing, if I'm not progressively going towards my worthy ideal, I'm not a successful person. That's why I really love this definition, because it entails progressively realizing, taking action, and having that goal. Now, have a goal, not success. You don't know what you want, you're not successful. You don't feel successful because you don't have goal. There are a couple of other definitions here. Success means doing the best we can with what we have. That means, yes, sometimes we intend to do things, but sometimes we don't get the results we want to get. In those days, we have to forgive ourselves and move on and ask ourselves, what's the best I can do today, right now? And on a journey towards success, there are a couple of key obstacles each and every one of us encounter. Some of us deal with some of them easier, and some of these are a bit harder. So, I want to bring to your attention couple common obstacle. So first of all, first challenge to achieving the life you want, the body you want, the health you want is not have defined. How does healthy lifestyle, how does healthy body looks like? And if you have not defined it, you cannot aim your body, not aim your mind towards achieving that. Second is not having motivation and willpower. And why do you think is that? Most of the time, it's because it's not really important to you. It's not something you value. There are things that you value more, and those things take up more of your time, more of your attention, and you don't truly desire that healthy body. As harsh as it may sound, it's true. It's not really important. There's other things that are more important to you, and health and a healthy body is not that important. It's not that valuable. You don't believe you can have it, because you don't believe it, you don't make it important to take action towards having that. And obviously, you're not motivated. If it's overwhelmed, usually that means there's too many things in your mind, too many things. In that case, you need to have a plan, strategy, and take action. Action is a universal cure to cure overwhelm. So sometimes when you take action, you kind of want to start taking action, but there's something keeping you from taking the right action. Again, action is the cure. Sometimes you have unsupportive environment. In that case, you need to put yourself part-time, most time, as much as you can, into supportive community. That's why I offer you this group coaching program where you have this supportive community. You have people to turn to support you to achieve similar goal, same goal. People who understand you. Put yourself in supportive community, which also could mean consume content that inspires you, going online and follow people, influencers that really inspire you. Take action you want to take action that needs to be taken. And sometimes we get stopped by having unrealistic expectations. In this case, you need to have feedback. Someone who says, well, how are you going to get there? What's it going to take? Like sometimes, I know for myself, sometimes I expect, I'm going to get clients today. Clients don't come. I feel disappointed because I had unrealistic expectation. People just come to me. I don't need to take anything. And then people come to me with a feedback. So why should they come to you? Why should they come? Just because you appear? No. So there's certain actions to take, certain offers, certain things to tweak. Maybe I appear to unite. Everyone is sleeping. Maybe I need to adjust my schedule. Next one is lack of strategy and unclear next steps. This is something I certainly can help you with. To make a step-by-step process, how to influence your subconscious mind, how to influence your conscious mind, how to direct your attention throughout the day so you get what you want. Another thing is lack of accountability. Okay, you have your plan, you have a strategy, but you're not following through still because you don't have any accountability. One thing is that it's not still, not valuable, you don't make it important, you not have found a way how to hold yourself accountable. That's how coach can be a really great tool. If you hire a coach, the coach holds you accountable. There are certain structures in place that will make sure that you follow through. Another really cheap way of holding yourself accountable is make it public. Tell everyone you know, your parents, friends, spouse, family. Make it public. Make a Facebook post. Tell everyone you know, I'm gonna do this. Hold myself accountable. I'm gonna check in. And if you don't do it, obviously people are gonna ask questions. Who is that guy? Why is he not doing it? Obviously, you want to uphold your image and you want to make certain you do the things you say to do. Otherwise, you're going to feel bad, you're going to lose self-respect. Yes, you might lose respect from other people, but most importantly, you're going to lose self-respect if you're not doing the things you say you're not going to say you're going to do. And finally, feeling alone, not feeling support. And again, you're going to have group support, find community support, or hire a coach. And one of the main reasons, one of the main pillars how to stay accountable is to stay accountable to yourself first and foremost. Yes, you can hire a coach, but if you still have no self-respect, no self-love, it's unlikely for you to stay accountable to the coach, because coach will not mean anything to you, because you're gonna have so much self-doubt, so much insecurities that at some point it is, well, I cannot do it. The coach doesn't matter. So you need to have self-respect and self-love to show up, and even stay accountable to anyone, whatever it is. That's why I'm really passionate about showing ways how to respect yourself and how to love yourself. So self-respect is more of a masculine side. So I come up here and respect myself. No matter what's happening outside, I respect myself. And self-love is more of a feminine side of it. And that's why I love this approach of self-respect and self-love, because in nature there's always polar opposites: yin, yang, trunk, root, strength, flexibility, thought, emotion. So there's, wherever you look like, whichever level you look like, there's always positive and also negative. You can zoom out, and then you might think, like the other day I was thinking about thought and emotion. So how does it work? Okay, you have a thought which is more feminine. No, we have a thought which is more masculine. You have emotion which is more feminine. Fair enough. But then you zoom into the thought, have more masculine thoughts and more feminine thoughts. And then you zoom into the more masculine thought, and even in there you have more masculine traits, more feminine traits. So it's, life is more like a hologram, holographic universe. So universe is holographic. So no matter how deep or how far you zoom in and zoom out, you will always find this principle of polarity. There's this amazing book called Kabbalion, which explains one of the principles is polarity. So that's why, if you want to make something sustainable, you have to address both principles. And that's why yin yang, masculine, feminine, positive, negative, thought, emotion, strength, flexibility, all these things need to be balanced. They need to be addressed. You need to find your balance. How does your balance look like? That's how you stay accountable to yourself, to your word, and your values. And let's go quickly to what do I mean by self-respect. So how do you respect yourself? So what does self-respect mean to you personally? So let's go through dictionary definitions. Self-respect is pride and confidence in oneself. It's a feeling that one is behaving with honor and dignity. And for me, if I go to the dictionary definition to word respect, dictionary definition of word respect is feeling of deep admiration for someone or something, elected with their abilities, quantities, or achievements. However, this definition doesn't really go as deep as I like to. I like to go to the root definition coming from Latin. Respect. Means again, anew. It also looks back. And spectare, specre, for some reason I have a word spectare. So specre means look at. So different roots. Probably one is French, one is Latin. Confusion on mind doesn't matter, but the idea is that specere means look at. So respect actually means ability to look again. Self-respect is ability to look at myself again, or look at myself anew, or look back to myself. And of course, feeling good about it. Ability to look back at myself and say, yeah, I admire myself, I honor myself, I feel good about the decision I made, I feel awesome. And that's why I really love mindfulness, because mindfulness is literally ability to take a look inside of my mind, take a look at my thoughts, and be okay with them. Being okay with all kinds of nasty thoughts, all kinds of nasty things, negative self-talk, being okay with it, understanding that's not me. And be okay with I don't want those kind of thoughts. What do I do about it? That's what self-respect means to me. Next one is self-love. Dictionary definition. Self-love is regard for one's own well-being and happiness. Nothing to do with selfishness. Selfishness, in my opinion, is not really possible because once you become selfish, you start neglecting other people start neglecting you, they start treating you the same way as you start treating you, and you don't really feel good about yourself because people don't feel good about you and they project nasty things to you back. And so if you go deep in yourself, if you're aware of your connected with your body, with your mind, you're not feeling good if you're selfish. So selfishness is not really possible sustainably. That's why I go back to my own running definition that self-love is feel good, ability to feel good sustainably. So if I love myself, if I love other people, I feel good. And if I fail to be aligned in some way and form to love, I don't experience love to the fullest. I don't feel it myself, and I feel it from others. And a quote, pain is inevitable, suffering is optional. So, self-love is a choice not to suffer. For me, self-love means that I choose not to suffer. So once I observe the pain, I have a decision. What do I do with this pain? Do I drag it on or do I deal with it? And self-love for me, working on self-love, practicing self means not to suffer. It means dealing with the pain as soon as possible, alleviate the body from suffering. Self-love is process of building a relationship with myself, especially the mind. It's taking care of myself, and this also means saying no to the things I know are not good for me. And Will Smith has these really amazing definitions. I believe that self-discipline is the definition of self-love. And again, you have to ask yourself, what does self-discipline mean to you? What does it look like to you? And for me, self-discipline can be deeply passionate, deeply beautiful thing, and can be, okay, I'm showing up, I'm doing the thing that needs to be done. Both masculine, both feminine, a bit of both. I show up every morning for my yoga practice because I love yoga. And sometimes it means, Toms, you need to show up. Doesn't matter how you feel, you need to show up. And then, how you will show up, it's up to you. If you want to show up and have a soft, gentle, peaceful practice, fine by me, just show up. Just show up. End of the story. So, how do you deal with it afterwards? It's up to you. And we're going to finish today with this beautiful graph that self-love is a lot about awareness and it's a lot about action. And there's 3 categories to have the health and the body you want. Neglect one and it will appear as a consequence in others. And work on all 3 of them or any of them intensely, you have benefits in others. So first of all, physical health, emotional health, and mental health or well-being. So physical body needs to move, it needs to be nurtured by diet, by the things you observe and absorb. So creams on the body, washing, going to the shower, moving body, exercising, stretching, really important, resting, sleeping, taking break, breathing calmly, slowing down the breath, letting heart rate to rise up and low down. Emotional health. Need to express your emotion. Bottling up emotions comes up as bottled up energy. So energy, emotion. So if you not let your emotions move, you not let them express, that means you're bottling them down. They're stagnant, they get stale, they basically attract dis-ease. So you need to take care of your emotions, you need to nurture them, and you need to shine up love onto them. So you feel angry, so what do you do with the anger? You don't just bottle it up, you find positive expression of anger. Shouting onto the people might not be the most healthy way of dealing with and expressing your anger, fair enough, or that might be the better way than not expressing at all, because then it means you turn it internal and you have this ease, so you're not caring for it. And of course, you also need to acknowledge that not every emotion needs to be dragged on and experienced over and over again. So at some point you need to learn ability to release emotion. The same thing goes for mind. You need to grow, you need to move, you need to find problems you want to solve, you want challenges. Mind needs challenge, problem, mind needs something moving, and for the mind, that's a problem, challenge. Mind loves it. And if you don't put mind onto the mission, if you don't put mind on a challenge, a problem, it will find something for you, and it might be something you don't want. So if you don't put your mind onto the mission of having a healthy, nurturing body, and that means going to the gym and sweating a bit, maybe that going to the yoga class and sweating a bit, maybe it means raising your heart rate, maybe that means taking a shower a bit more often than you feel like. Fair enough. If you don't put up into the challenge, it will come up with the challenges you don't want. It might come up with a flu, it come up with a cough, all kinds of other things, because your body is stagnant, your mind is stagnant, your emotion is stagnant, everything's connected. Your mind also needs to create, needs expression, needs to draw, needs to create whatever creative part of the mind. It needs a bit of creativity, and also you need to be able to clear your mind. Yes, each and every one of us can have this nothing box. You probably have heard this example from Simpsons. There's this cartoon, anime, whatever, television series, Simpsons, where they have this husband, Homer, and sometimes he's just blank. There's this thing called nothing box. He goes into nothing box. There's literally nothing happening in his mind. He's just there. Like when you watch TV, there's literally nothing happening in your mind. Just blank. So, believe it or not, each and every one has their own flavor, their own way of getting into that state. And that means clearing your mind. There's nothing there. And sometimes it means watching TV, Netflix. For some people, it means different things, going for a walk, hikes. There's many different ways how you can get that temporarily or more extended. And for some people, that literally means falling asleep. So, and that's where it brings us to the final stop, which just means in order for you to fall asleep, in order for your physical body to rest, you need to be able to clear your mind and release emotional attachments from the day. So it's really hard for anyone to fall asleep. If you're continuously running around solving problems, your mind is active. Active mind produces adrenaline, cortisol, and other hormones, and activates the physical body. And active physical body is less likely to fall asleep. It's really hard for body to fall asleep if you're activating from the mind. Also really hard for your body to fall asleep if you're continuously generating any kind of intense emotions. Could be excitement, could be greed, could be fear, could be doubt, joy, any emotion, positive, negative, but intense emotion will generate all those hormones yet again and will make your body to really have a hard time falling asleep. So therefore, you need to be able to release physical energy through movement. You need to be able to relax, rest your heart rate, slow down your breathing, release your emotions, let them go, clear up your mind. And that's it for today. Hope you enjoyed this presentation. I wish you a magical day in front of you, and have it magical.